There's something magical about the NES era. These games sparked our imaginations in ways that only a couple movies and TV shows were doing at that time. And while plenty of them got cartoons or comics, very few ever made it to the silver screen. But what if they did? What if we picked the perfect titles and gave them the blockbuster treatment they deserve? From gritty sci-fi to fantastical epics, here are 10 NES games that I think are just begging to be turned into unforgettable movies. Kicking things off with absolute chaos in the best way possible, we've got Vice Project Doom, reimagined as a self-aware, over-the-top sci-fi comedy in the style of 21 Jump Street meets The Terminator. It's got aliens, it's got car chases, it's got conspiracies. But most importantly, it's got a grizzled detective who plays everything way too cool while navigating a world of exploding mutants and alien meat products. The tone leans into parody, but never at the expense of style. Think neon-lit synth backdrops, outrageous stunts, and a script that lets the absurdity run wild. Because if you're adapting one of the NES's weirdest hidden gems, you have to embrace the chaos. Shadowgate already has the bones of a great haunted house story, but it lacked something of its characters in the game, at least as far as telling a story adapted the way we want to. Why stop at a silent protagonist? Imagine a group of brave souls trapped inside the ever-changing halls of Castle Shadowgate, each with their own motive, secret, and eventual demise. Puzzles, magic, booby traps, and an ever-present sense of dread. We turn it into a dark ensemble film in the vein of The Haunting of Hill House crossed with The Thing. Who will survive the descent into madness, and who will fall prey to the castle's cursed legacy? For Ghosts and Goblins, think Evil Dead 2 with a touch of Monty Python. Our knight in slightly rusty armor, Arthur, is on a doomed quest to save the princess from demonic forces, losing his armor at the worst times and fighting off the undead and demons with whatever weapons he can find. The twist? Prin Prin isn't just some damsel, she's a powerful figure in her own right. And Prin Prin is just a nickname. Campy, gory, and totally unforgettable. We'll also add a tragicomic take on Firebrand as a reluctant demon with a conscience, and you've got a cult hit in the making. It's just the beginning of the Ghosts and Goblins shared universe. We dive deep into the grotesque with Abadox, a game where you fly inside the body of a massive alien creature to destroy it from within. For the movie, it becomes a full-on Event Horizon meets The Fly. It's claustrophobic, visceral, and packed with bioorganic terror, as the main characters try to stop the growing threat of a planet-eating parasitic creature. A pilot in biomechanical armor has to navigate this living nightmare, facing twitching walls, screaming organs, and parasitic horrors, all while racing against the clock before the monster reawakens. Abadox would be a gross-out sci-fi thrill ride with unforgettable visuals and a healthy dose of inane hilarity. There is even a desperate attempt to escape from the creature's rectal cavity, after all. Originally meant to be a Terminator game, Journey to Silius is already halfway to being a great film. Give it some Blade Runner vibes, add in a healthy dose of John Wick revenge narrative, and you've got a cyberpunk classic. A lone hero walks the neon-lit streets of a world run by killer AI, taking down robotic assassins with custom weaponry while uncovering the truth behind his father's death. We'd add in some additional characters so that they could take some of the brunt of the storytelling off Jay McRae's shoulders. It would be a bit like an unfolding mystery with glowing locales, rather than just a run-and-gun experience, though the action sequences would have to be top-notch and expressive. It would be slick, emotional, and brimming with synthwave cool. We go full Wolfenstein with Bionic Commando. Nathan Spencer is a bionically enhanced soldier dropped behind enemy lines to stop a resurgent Nazi regime. His main mission is to rescue Super Joe, but soon he learns that something terrible has happened, and the Nazis are doing what they can to resurrect freaking Hitler. Of course, the bad guys are doing what they can to make life miserable for good guys everywhere, so even when Hitler's head explodes, we still have to see our heroes stopping a massive, terrifying superweapon. The movie embraces the darker Famicom narrative, leaning into the anti-fascist rebellion with over-the-top action. Super Joe gets a bigger role, and maybe we even tease a connected universe by throwing in a post-credits cameo from B.J. Blazkowicz. For Rygar, imagine Captain America reborn in a world of swords and monsters. Rygar awakens from his eternal slumber to battle an empire ruled by demonic forces. His shield isn't just for defense, it's a weapon of divine justice. Packed with towering beasts, mysterious allies, and ancient ruins, this film would deliver sweeping fantasy vistas and high-stakes action. Throw in some anthropomorphic monsters for flavor, and you've got an 80s fantasy throwback with modern polish. Rygar has the potential to really be a character and a game franchise with lasting power. It's wild that we haven't seen anyone take a real chance on him yet. The last game we got in his series was back in 2002, with a remastered version that came out in 2009. It's time to get something fresh involved for this mythical hero. Two grizzled warriors take on an alien invasion in a non-stop, explosion-filled showdown. Contra becomes the ultimate Expendables meets Predator flick, especially possible because of the way the series has evolved over the years. There are tons of side characters that you can allude to, even though you'd start with Bill and Lance and then let them shine as much as you could. For the stylization of the movie, think slow-motion dives, over-the-top weaponry, and endless enemy fodder. Every scene is bigger than the last, and you can stack the cast with aging action heroes, rising stars, and wild cameos. The story, minimal. The spectacle, maximum. The popcorn, mandatory. This one gets wild. Take the US version of Blaster Master, boy finds frog, frog jumps into hole, boy finds tank, and merge it with the original Japanese metafight story, Intergalactic Rebellion. Then, you just let loose. What if both timelines happen at once in parallel realities, converging in a final battle? Jason and Sophia, the tank, become linked across worlds, and their combined destinies are the key to saving both universes. Because Blaster Master is another one of those game series that has so many entries, there's a lot of ways that you can allude to other content. Of course, the big drive in the first film would have to be Jason, Fred, and Sophia. Big ideas, slick visuals, and a giant tank-fighting mutant monsters? Count us in. At the top of the list, it's got to be Metroid. But instead of dropping us straight into the mission, we go back to the beginning, Samus Aran's childhood. We dive into her rescue by the Chozo and look at her training. We witness the forging of her iconic armor. It's a more thoughtful, character-driven take that lays the groundwork for future sequels. We get glimpses of Ridley, the space pirates, and Mother Brain, not to mention the eponymous critters that give the story its name. But it's really about Samus becoming the bounty hunter we all know and love, and unlike Other M, this version gets the tone right. And since I'm such a fan of crossovers, as you can no doubt tell, and I really want to get us to a point where we can see a Super Smash Bros.-esque shared universe, maybe we have a stinger of the Great Fox rising into frame in the distant Lylat system. The NES gave us unforgettable challenges, but it also gave us worlds worth exploring. And with the right creative team, these pixel-powered legends could become the next big thing in theaters. Whether it's horror, comedy, or sci-fi, there's something timeless about these stories. So Hollywood, if you're listening, we're ready. If you like these hypothetical pitches for game-based movies, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. We're currently dropping top 10s every Thursday, and we're trying to build That's Entertainment into something really awesome, and we can get there with your help. See you next time. Check out our review for Arcade Paradise. It's a very fun, retro-heavy game. If you're into D&D, you can also check out our sister channel, Tellust, where we have plenty of maps on display. And we'll also be refreshing this channel with new retro reviews, so keep an eye out.